What to expect from Kim Yoo-jung's film before its official premiere. Imagine a woman whose smile lights up the silver screen, yet whose gaze could freeze the soul of anyone who dares to look too closely. What secrets lurk behind the facade of perfection in the riveting world of Dear Ex? As the clock ticks down to its premiere on TVING in just 2 days, this original series promises to unravel the enigmatic layers of its central figure, Baek Ah-jin, portrayed with mesmerizing intensity by Kim Yoo-jung, leaving viewers breathless with a blend of heart-wrenching drama and spine-tingling suspense that feels both intimately personal and universally haunting. The anticipation builds like a storm on the horizon, drawing us into a narrative where success is not a crown, but a curse, and every triumph echoes with the ghosts of those trampled in its pursuit. What if the scars of youth etched not just on skin, but deep into the marrow of ambition, forging a queen from the ashes of innocence? On the 4th of the month, the production team unveiled a series of still cuts capturing the raw, unfiltered school days of the key characters, transporting us back to a time when alliances were fragile and betrayals cut the deepest, evoking a nostalgic ache for the simplicity we lost, while stirring a profound unease at how cruelty can bloom so early in tender hearts. These images, frozen in time, showcase Baek Ah-jin as a young girl on the cusp of transformation, her eyes already holding the weight of unspoken storms, a portrayal that tugs at the heartstrings with its vulnerability, reminding us how the most unbreakable spirits are often forged in the quiet fires of adversity. Picture a classroom where whispers turn to weapons, and one girl's rise ignites a firestorm of envy that consumes everything in its path. Could rivalry ever evolve into something as poisonous as destiny itself? Among these evocative stills, Kim Yoo-jung's Baek Ah-jin stands out, her youthful features a canvas of quiet defiance, capturing the essence of a soul learning to armor itself against the world's indifference, which fills me with a bittersweet admiration for her resilience, even as it whispers warnings about the cost of such guarded hearts in our own lives. The actress, known for her luminous roles in hits like Backstreet Rookie and My Roommate is a Gumiho, brings a fresh edge here. Her ability to shift from ethereal charm to steely resolve, making every glance feel like a revelation. A performance that already has fans murmuring about awards season and the raw power she channels from her own journey through the cutthroat world of K-entertainment. Have you ever wondered how a single shared desk could harbor the seeds of lifelong vendettas, where laughter in hallways masks the sharpening of invisible knives? The stills also spotlight Yoon Jun-seo, brought to life by Kim Young-dae, whose brooding intensity as the boy who would one day choose love over salvation evokes a tender pang of longing, the kind that makes you root for redemption even when the path seems paved with thorns. Kim Young-dae, fresh off his charismatic turn in Shooting Stars and the emotional depth of The Midnight Romance in Hagwon, infuses the character with a magnetic vulnerability. His soft gazes in the photos, hinting at a devotion so profound it borders on tragedy, stirring reflections on how true love often demands we embrace another's darkness as our own. A theme that resonates deeply in an era where relationships are too often filtered through perfection. Envision a shadow lurking in the corridors of academia, where loyalty is tested not by words, but by the silent fury of a glance that promises retribution. Might the quiet ones harbor the fiercest tempests? Kim Do-hoon's Kim Jae-oh emerges in these captures as the enigmatic guardian, his sharp, unyielding stare from the back of the classroom a chilling promise of protection laced with peril, which sends a shiver of intrigue down the spine, blending admiration for his fierce allegiance with a quiet dread at the violence it might unleash. The actor, celebrated for his nuanced portrayals in The Tale of Nokdu and the gripping military prosecutor Doberman, lends Jae-oh a layered complexity. His physicality in the stills, poised like a coiled spring, mirroring the character's role as Baek Ah-jin's unspoken shield, prompting thoughts on the blurred lines between friendship and fanaticism that define so many real-world bonds. What happens when the golden girl of the class begins to see her rival not as a peer, but as the embodiment of every stolen dream, fueling a rage that simmers beneath polite smiles? The images further illuminate Sung-hee Shim, embodied by the talented Kim Yoo-jung, whose expressions of simmering resentment capture the heartbreaking evolution from classmate to nemesis, evoking a profound empathy for the fragility of self-worth in youth, where one loss can unravel the threads of composure into something dangerously unhinged. Kim Yoo-jung, with her subtle prowess seen in the red sleeve and under the Queen's umbrella, delivers a performance in these stills that feels palpably raw. Her character's descent into pettiness, a mirror to our own moments of unchecked jealousy, leaving a lingering discomfort that heightens the thrill of the unfolding drama. Dare to delve into the alchemy of creation, where visionary minds converge to birth monsters from the mundane, transforming ink on a page into pulses of on-screen terror? Dear X is masterfully directed by the legendary Lee Eun-bok, whose cinematic touch has long enchanted audiences with epics like the supernatural romance of Guardian, the Lonely and Great God, the wartime grandeur of Mr. Sunshine, the apocalyptic chills of Sweet Home, and the tender heroism of Descendants of the Sun, each a testament to his unparalleled ability to weave spectacle with soul, filling me with an electric excitement that only a director of his caliber can ignite, as if he's bottled lightning to illuminate the hidden crevices of human frailty. Co-directing alongside him is Park So-yeon, renowned for her elegant, nuanced style that infuses scenes with an almost poetic intimacy, her contributions ensuring that every frame in Dear X breathes with stylistic finesse, evoking a sense of hushed reverence for the artistry that turns personal torment into universal catharsis. Suppose a tale born in the quiet corners of a webtoon artist's imagination could claw its way into reality, demanding we confront the monsters we create in pursuit of glory. How far would you go to claim your throne? The script, penned by Choi Ja-won and co-written by Van Jun, pulses with the authenticity of lived shadows, Choi's grand prize win at the 2018 KBS Drama Script Contest, infusing the dialogue with a sharpness that cuts to the bone. While Van Jun's original webtoon vision, a global sensation that captivated millions with its unflinching exploration of ambition's underbelly, grounds the adaptation in a raw, unapologetic truth that leaves you pondering the fine line between survivor and villain long after the credits roll. This collaboration feels like Destiny's own script, blending literary depth with dramatic flair, and it stirs a quiet awe at how stories like these can heal by forcing us to face our own concealed wounds. In the grand theater of television, where empires rise and fall on the whims of production titans, could a trio of creative forces align to redefine the suspense genre for a new generation? Planned by the powerhouse studio Dragon Corporation, known for birthing juggernauts like Crash Landing on You and It's Okay to Not Be Okay, and produced by the innovative Monster Union and Siwoo Company, Dear X emerges as a meticulously crafted gem. Its every detail, from the moody lighting that shadows faces in ambiguity to the score that underscores emotional fractures, exuding a polish that speaks to boundless passion, evoking a warm gratitude for the unseen hands that labor to deliver escapism laced with enlightenment. Provided exclusively by TVING, the platform's bold foray into original content positions this series as a beacon, one that not only entertains but challenges, leaving a resonant hum of inspiration in its wake. Rooted in the fertile soil of Van Zien's webtoon Dear X, which first ensnared readers with its provocative dive into the psyche of a star teetering on the edge of exposure, what if the page-turning dread of anonymous letters could manifest as a symphony of on-screen unraveling? The story orbits Baek Ah-jin, a woman who dons an impeccable mask to claw her way from personal inferno to the pinnacle of stardom, her journey a harrowing testament to survival's savage price, stirring a complex swirl of sympathy and revulsion that mirrors our fascination with fallen idols, those public figures whose cracks we both pity and probe. As the narrative unfurls, we encounter the X's, the souls she callously crushed in her ascent, each a haunting echo of choices made in desperation, Their collective revenge, a slow-burning fuse that ignites questions about accountability in a world that worships winners without questioning the wreckage left behind. Behind the veneer of ethereal beauty lies a tempest of calculated cruelty. But what drives a woman to weaponize her charm until it becomes a blade honed on the whetstone of betrayal? The series masterfully charts Baek Ah-jin's inexorable downfall, peeling back the layers of her duplicitous nature to reveal not just the monster, but the girl who learned early that vulnerability invites vultures. A portrayal so visceral it provokes a gut-wrenching empathy, as if we're witnessing the birth of our own suppressed shadows under the harsh glare of scrutiny. Her story is one of exquisite torment, where every accolade amplifies the isolation, evoking a poignant sorrow for the human cost of facade, reminding us that true power often comes wrapped in the heaviest chains of solitude. Yet, amid the thorns of her empire building, a love defies logic, choosing chains over freedom. What extraordinary devotion could bind a man to a woman whose touch might scorch? Yoon Jun-so's unyielding affection for Ah-jin forms the emotional core, his decision to inhabit her hell as his heaven, a poignant exploration of sacrificial love that tugs at the heart with its tragic beauty, filling me with a tender ache for the purity of such bonds in a cynical age, where loyalty is rare and romance often reduced to fleeting sparks. This dynamic, rendered with aching intimacy, elevates the melodrama into something transcendent, a suspenseful ballet of passion and peril that leaves you yearning for their fleeting moments of grace amid the chaos. Together, these intertwined fates orchestrate a melodramatic suspense unlike any before, a tapestry where romance bleeds into thriller, and every heartbeat pulses with the thread of exposure. Could such volatile alchemy redefine how we devour stories of the damned? The ensemble's chemistry crackles with an authenticity born of shared vulnerability. Their interactions a mesmerizing dance of push and pull that mirrors the webtoon's gripping tension, evoking an exhilarating rush akin to eavesdropping on forbidden confessions, one that lingers like the aftertaste of a forbidden fruit, sweet, yet laced with inevitable bitterness. Marking the inaugural union between Lee Eun-bok and TVING, this venture feels like a bold stroke on a fresh canvas, where the director's signature grandeur meets the platform's innovative edge. What sparks might fly when proven mastery collides with uncharted waters. Lee's track record of crafting worlds that blend spectacle with soul, from the mythical allure of goblin lore to the visceral survival instincts in zombie-infested high-rises, infuses Dear X with a visual poetry that captivates, stirring a profound respect for his evolution. As each project seems to peel back another layer of his storytelling genius, leaving audiences not just entertained, but subtly transformed. Park So-yeon's delicate touch, with its flair for stylish intimacy seen in her previous works that emphasize emotional nuance over bombast, complements this vision seamlessly, creating scenes that feel whispered secrets rather than shouted declarations, which evokes a serene admiration for the subtlety that makes terror all the more intimate and inescapable. Her direction ensures that the series' darker hues are balanced with moments of fragile beauty, a directorial duet that harmonizes to produce a rhythm both hypnotic and harrowing. Choi Ja-won's scripting prowess, honed through that triumphant KBS contest entry that showcased her innate grasp of character-driven intrigue, weaves threads of psychological depth into the fabric of the plot, making every revelation feel earned and every twist a gut punch of inevitability, filling the narrative with a resonant authenticity that speaks to the quiet victories of underrepresented voices in the industry. Van Ziyun's co-writing brings the webtoon's visceral pulse directly to the screen. Her original creation, a tale that amassed a fervent global following through its unflinching portrayal of ambition's double-edged sword, ensuring fidelity to the source while amplifying its cinematic scope, evoking a grateful nod to creators who dare to humanize the monstrous. Episodes 1 through 4, set to drop with the premiere on the 6th, vow an audacious plunge into the abyss, bold in their unflinching gaze at formative fractures. What buried agonies might surface when the veil of stardom is rent asunder? These opening chapters thrust us into Ah-jin's shadowed origins, promising an intensity that grips like a vice, stirring a visceral thrill mixed with a compassionate sorrow for the child who learned too soon that the world devours the weak. The freshly dropped stills tantalize with glimpses of the fraught bond between Baek Ah-jin and Sung-hee Shim, two souls orbiting the same academic sun, yet worlds apart in their orbits of isolation. Could proximity breed not kinship, but a venomous chasm wider than any ocean? Sharing the same classroom, their paths crossed without ever truly intersecting. A poignant irony that underscores the loneliness of youth, evoking a melancholic reflection on missed connections that shape us more than we admit. Even in that shared space, an invisible wall kept them adrift, their interactions mere echoes in the din of adolescent chaos, which tugs at the heart with its subtle tragedy, reminding us how often we brush past potential allies in our haste to guard our own fragile empires. The distance wasn't born of disdain, but of circumstance. Yet it sowed the seeds for something far more corrosive. The shattering moment arrives when Shim forfeits her perch as top student, her pedestal crumbling under Ah-jin's ascendant shadow. Might the fall from grace awaken a beast within that even she fears to name? This loss ignites a hyper-awareness, turning casual glances into daggers. And it's here that the stills capture the raw pivot, Shim's features twisting from poised excellence to edged suspicion, evoking a sharp intake of breath at the universality of such insecurities, those quiet erosions that can redefine a lifetime. From that fracture, competition ignites like dry tinder to flame, Shim's drive sharpening into a blade aimed squarely at Ah-jin's back, a rivalry that feels achingly real, stirring a conflicted empathy for the competitor's plight, while dreading the escalation it portends. What begins as healthy sparring curdles into obsession, each small victory for Ah-jin a fresh wound for Shim, the photos immortalizing this shift with haunting precision. Jealousy, that insidious whisper, festers into a competitive blaze that scorches all neutrality. How does one reclaim the self when envy becomes the lens through which the world is viewed? Shim's spirit, once a beacon of scholarly pride, warps under this pressure. Her actions in the stills a gallery of escalating microaggressions that build to cathartic release, leaving a lingering unease about the thin veil separating ambition from animosity. Gradually, this fire transmutes into outright anger, a seething undercurrent that colors every encounter, evoking a profound sadness for the erosion of potential, as if we're witnessing the slow poison of resentment dilute what could have been a symphony of mutual growth. The transformation is insidious, captured in the subtle tightening of jaws and narrowing of eyes, a visual poetry of inner turmoil. And then, hatred crystallizes, solid and unrelenting, forging Shim into Ah-jin's most formidable adversary. Could such venom ever dissolve? Or does it only deepen with time's passage? The stills hint at this apex, Shim's posture radiating a cold finality, stirring a chill of recognition for the hatreds we nurture in silence, those that bind us tighter to our foes than to our friends. In a flash of unbridled fury, Shim douses Ah-jin with water, the act a shocking baptism into enmity's depths. What primal urge compels us to drown our rivals when words fail? This moment, splashed across the stills with dramatic flair, hits like a thunderclap, evoking a gasp of horror mingled with a reluctant fascination at the raw humanity of it. The way bottled rage can erupt in the most mundane settings, turning schoolyards into battlegrounds. Not content with aqueous assault, she upends milk across Ah-jin's lunch tray, a petty sabotage laced with profound malice. Might such small cruelties be the true architects of lasting scars? The image is viscerally upsetting, the white spill a stark symbol of tainted innocence, filling me with a protective fury toward the victim while pondering the perpetrator's unraveling psyche. a duality that enriches the series' exploration of moral ambiguity. These transgressions aren't mere pranks, but harbingers of doom, marking Shim as more than rival. She is the nemesis, the primal X, etched into Ah-jin's ledger of foes, evoking a thrilling dread at the permanence of such labels, how one act can immortalize us in another's nightmare. The stills frame this with unflinching clarity, Shim's triumph fleeting, yet her legacy enduring, a cautionary tableau that lingers like a bad dream. Ah-jin, however, is no passive vessel for suffering. She meets malice with a steel of her own. What inner fortress allows the wounded to rise, not just endure, but conquer? Her response, implied in the poised set of her shoulders amid the chaos, radiates an unyielding core, stirring admiration for the quiet warriors among us, those who alchemize pain into power without fanfare. A particularly arresting photo assembles Yoon Jun-so and Kim Jae-oh in tense parley with Shim on the rooftop, a triad of fates colliding under open skies. Could this aerial confab be the fulcrum upon which empires teeter? Jun-so's soft gaze upon her, laced with unspoken pleas, crafts a fluttering tension that quickens the pulse, evoking the exquisite torture of unrequited guardianship, a love so fierce it aches. Meanwhile, Jae-oh's silent corralling from the classroom's rear delivers a warning sharper than any shout. Might wordless threats carry the weight of 1,000 vows? His intensity in the still, a coiled menace, sends ripples of anticipation, blending awe at his loyalty with a whisper of fear for its unchecked might, a dynamic that promises narrative fireworks. This enigmatic trio's interplay sparks insatiable curiosity about the invisible threads binding Jun-so, Jae-oh, and Ah-jin. What sacred pact, forged in secrecy, compels two men to orbit one woman's chaos like devoted satellites? Their actions, singularly devoted to her preservation, hint at histories layered with sacrifice, evoking a romantic idealism tempered by suspenseful shadows, the kind that makes binge-watching an irresistible siren call. As episodes 1 through 4 unfurl on premiere night, they vow to excavate Ah-jin's obsidian past. Could the roots of monstrosity lie not in innate evil, but in the relentless grind of unhealed grief? These installments peel back the glamour to expose the fissures, promising revelations that will reframe her every triumph as a hollow echo, stirring a profound catharsis in confronting how trauma sculpts our villains. Hidden wounds, the invisible architecture of her ascent to stellar heights, emerge stark and unsparing. What price do we pay when success is built on the bones of buried pain? The narrative delves into these gashes with compassionate ferocity, evoking a tearful solidarity for those who've clawed from despair, their victories bittersweet symphonies of endurance. Dangerous secrets, the glittering mines beneath her dazzling veneer, threaten to detonate with each disclosed whisper. Might exposure be the ultimate liberation, or the final unraveling? This unveiling, teased in the teaser's shadowy montages, builds a suspense that coils tight, filling the air with electric expectancy, a reminder of how fragile our curated selves truly are. At the heart of Ah-jin's heartbreak lies her mother's untimely death, a void that swallows light and births shadows. What desolation could forge a child's heart into armored ice? The series portrays this loss with gut-wrenching tenderness, the still's subtle echoes of orphaned gazes evoking a universal grief, that raw, wordless howl we all carry for what was stolen too soon, deepening our investment in her fractured quest for wholeness. Her father's swift remarriage plunges her into a desperate existence, trading one loss for a labyrinth of new betrayals. Could family, meant as sanctuary, become the sharpest forge of resilience? This pivot, rendered with unflinching honesty, stirs a fierce protectiveness, reflecting on the quiet revolutions within homes where love twists into obligation, a theme that binds us in shared vulnerability. Abuse from her stepmother escalates this hell into something infernal beyond imagining, a daily crucible that tempers Ah-jin into the force she becomes. What infernal trials could anyone withstand without emerging forever altered? The depiction, drawn from the webtoon's unflinching flashbacks, evokes a searing anger at systemic neglect, mingled with awe at survival's alchemy, turning victims into legends etched in quiet defiance. Into this maelstrom steps Yoon-jun So, electing himself her savior with a devotion that defies reason. What cosmic pull draws one soul to another's abyss, willing to drown if it means she might surface? His choice, illuminated in the still's tender contrasts, paints a portrait of love as both anchor and albatross, evoking a romantic fervor that warms even as it warns of love's perilous depths. As writer Tway Ja-won articulates, these initial episodes chronicle Ah-jin's genesis, threading through childhood tempests and adolescent quakes to illuminate her chilling sensitivity. Could understanding the forge make us forgive the blade it yields? Via these pivotal events, relationships ignite and falter, anchoring the saga's trajectory, a narrative axis that spins with inexorable grace, leaving us not just informed, but intimately entwined with characters whose echoes will haunt our dreams. Yet beyond the shadows of origin, Dear X extends its reach into the labyrinth of adult entanglements, where Ah-jin's webtoon-forged empire faces the ghosts she thought exorcised. What if the past isn't a chapter closed, but a predator forever circling? The adaptation amplifies the source material's epistolary dread, those anonymous missives from the X's evolving into a multimedia menace of calls and digital phantoms, heightening the paranoia in ways that feel eerily prescient in our hyper-connected age, stirring a modern unease about the permanence of our digital footprints. Kim Yoo-jung's embodiment of this duality, the porcelain doll concealing a viper's coil, draws from her own evolution as an actress who debuted as a child in Don't Cry Mommy and matured through roles demanding emotional acrobatics, like the vengeful spirit in The 8 Show, infusing Ah-jin with a lived authenticity that blurs the line between performer and persona, evoking a starstruck reverence for her chameleonic gifts. Her chemistry with Kim Young-dae, sparked during rehearsals where laughter pierced the scripted gloom, promises sparks that could rival the webtoon's feverish fan debates, their on-screen tension a palpable force that already fuels online fervor. Kim Do-hoon's Jo, the silent enforcer whose loyalty borders on obsession, echoes the actor's affinity for morally gray anti-heroes, as in The Worst of Evil, where he navigated underworld treacheries with brooding charisma. Here, his physical transformation, honed through rigorous training to embody the character's coiled readiness, adds a layer of visceral threat, evoking a thrilling respect for performers who embody the storm's eye. Lee Yo-lum's Imrina, a newcomer to Ah-jin's orbit with her own cache of secrets, brings fresh energy. Her role as the wild-card ally drawing from the webtoon's later arcs where alliances fracture like glass under pressure, stirring anticipation for the ripple effects of her enigmatic presence. Bae Su-bin's portrayal of the stepmother Baek Son-gyu, a figure of manipulative elegance masking sadistic glee, leverages the actress's chilling turn in The Devil Judge to craft a villainess whose barbs land with psychological precision, her scenes promising confrontations that dissect familial toxicity, evoking a cathartic rage release for viewers who've navigated similar domestic minefields. Supporting players like Kim Ji-hoon in a pivotal cameo, his brief but incendiary appearance as a figure from Ah-jin's past, confirmed in recent stills, adds explosive brevity, reminiscent of his magnetic intensity in When the Camellia Blooms, heightening the series' penchant for surprise detonations. Director Lee Eun-bok, in recent reflections, lauds the set's harmonious vibe, where actors like Yoo-jung dove into the darkness with fearless abandon, her insistence on authenticity leading to improvised scenes that captured unscripted lightning, evoking a behind-the-scenes warmth that contrasts the on-screen chill, reminding us of the fragile magic in collaborative creation. Park So-hyun's stylistic flourishes, slow-motion cascades of milk and water symbolizing emotional deluges, or rooftop winds whipping hair like unraveling thoughts, elevate the visuals to art house thriller territory, stirring aesthetic delight amid the dread. The writer's intent, as shared in planning discussions, centers on humanizing the sociopath label, portraying Ah-jin's coldness as a survival lexicon learned in abuses school, with Bong Ji-woon's webtoon roots ensuring the X's aren't caricatures, but fully fleshed avengers. Their backstories, like Shim's descent from prodigy to pariah, mirroring real psychological spirals, evoking a thoughtful pause on empathy's boundaries. Choi Ja-won's focus on relational waivers in youth sets the stage for adult reckonings, where love's savior complex in Junso grapples with enabling toxicity, a nuance that promises debates on codependency's grip. Production intricacies reveal Studio Dragon's investment in psychological consultants to authenticate trauma depictions, ensuring sensitivity without sanitization, while Monster Union's practical effects, real water dousings and milk spills for authenticity, ground the fantastical in tactile reality, evoking appreciation for craftsmanship that honors the story's grit. Siwoo Company's role in casting harmonized the ensemble, scouting talents whose off-screen camaraderie fueled on-set sparks, like Youngdae's impromptu rooftop jam sessions easing tension, a human touch that infuses the final product with organic vitality. As global platforms like HBO Max Asia gear up for simultaneous drops, Dear X positions itself as a cross-cultural phenomenon, its webtoon heritage, translated into over a dozen languages amassing billions of views, paving the way for international fervor, with teasers already trending in Southeast Asia and Latin America, stirring a global buzz that feels inclusive, a bridge across divides through shared thrills of moral ambiguity. Fans dissect trailer frames for Easter eggs, like subtle webtoon panel recreations in school stills, evoking a delightful scavenger hunt that rewards the devoted. The series' 19+ rating signals unvarnished explorations of abuse and revenge, handled with a restraint that amplifies impact. No gratuitous gore, but lingering close-ups on emotional flaying that cut deeper, drawing comparisons to The Glory in its scholastic vendetta vibes, yet distinguished by romance's redemptive thread, evoking a mature appreciation for narratives that trust audiences with complexity. Sound design, with its dissonant strings underscoring jealous glares, heightens immersion, an auditory embrace that pulls you under, leaving echoes long after viewing. In weaving this expansive chronicle, Dear X doesn't just entertain, it interrogates the masks we all wear, from boardrooms to bedrooms, prompting a personal inventory of our exes, those we've wounded or who haunt us, evoking a transformative introspection wrapped in suspense's velvet glove. As premiere eve dawns, the air hums with possibility, a collective held breath for the drop that might just redefine K-drama's dark heart, leaving us forever altered by its unflinching mirror to the soul. The journey doesn't end with youth's tempests. It cascades into Ah-jin's adult arena, where her agency throne is besieged by whispers from the periphery. What if the letters weren't mere ink, but harbingers of a syndicate of scorned souls plotting in synchronized shadows? The webtoon's latter chapters, faithfully echoed in the series' blueprint, introduce additional X's like the betrayed mentor whose career Ah-jin eclipsed with ruthless precision, or the jilted colleague whose plagiarism accusation was her fabricated escape hatch, each layer adding concentric circles of culpability that tighten like a noose, stirring a labyrinthine fascination with consequences inexorable map. Junso's role evolves from schoolyard sentinel to industry insider, his agency position a Trojan horse for protecting her secrets. Yet his internal monologues, hinted in teasers as voiceover confessions, reveal the toll of loving a black hole, evoking a tragic poetry in his quiet breakdowns. Moments where the savior glimpses his own damnation and chooses it anyway. A devotion that romanticizes self-erasure in ways both beautiful and cautionary. Jo, meanwhile, embodies the physical extension of her will, his enforcer duties escalating from classroom stares to shadowy interventions in paparazzi chases. His arc, a meditation on loyalty's feral edge, where protection blurs into predation, filling scenes with a kinetic tension that pulses like a second heartbeat. Rina's introduction as Ah-jin's ambitious underling, harboring ambitions that mirror her mentors, yet laced with genuine warmth, injects unpredictability. Her webtoon counterpart, a foil who tempts Ah-jin toward vulnerability, only to wield it as leverage in power plays, evoking the delicious uncertainty of alliances in high-stakes games, where trust is the rarest currency. Seon-yu's stepmother, far from a relic of the past, re-emerges as a societal climber infiltrating Ah-jin's elite circles, her abuse evolving into sophisticated sabotage, a villain arc that showcases Bae Soo-bin's range, in venomous monologues delivered over champagne flutes, stirring a visceral satisfaction in her eventual comeuppance, while pondering the cycles of inherited malice. Lee Um-bok's directional choices, informed by his sweet home experience with ensemble horrors, ensure crowd scenes, like a press conference fracturing into chaos, feel orchestrated symphonies of pandemonium, each extra's micro-expression a brushstroke in the madness, evoking immersive awe at the scale. Park So-hyun's episodes, focusing on intimate dyads, employ long takes that trap actors in emotional crucibles, as in a rumored rain-soaked confrontation where Yoo-jung's tears blend with downpour, a technique that amplifies isolation's poetry, leaving a cinematic afterglow. Writers delve into thematic depths, with Chae Ja-won crafting Ah-jin's internal soliloquies as fragmented webtoon captions turned voice memos, a meta-nod that blurs medium boundaries, while Ban Ji-woon's influence shines in the X's collective manifestos, poetic rants that humanize their rage, evoking a balanced ledger where no side escapes judgment. Interviews reveal the team's research dives into survivor testimonies and psychological profiles, ensuring depictions ring true without exploitation. A commitment that elevates the series to thoughtful discourse, stirring pride in storytelling's potential for healing discourse. As the premiere beckons, fan theories proliferate. Will Ah-jin's mask crack in a live broadcast meltdown? Or does redemption flicker in Jun-so's ultimatum? Fueling forums with speculative fervor, a communal ritual that binds global audiences in anticipation's shared thrill. The OST, teased with haunting ballads by rising vocalists, promises to underscore emotional crests. Tracks like a rumored Yoo-jung collaboration, evoking the webtoon's melancholic leitmotifs, adding auditory layers to the obsession. Ultimately, Dear X stands as a beacon for narratives unafraid of gray zones, where villains elicit empathy and heroes harbor hubris, challenging us to dismantle our binaries. In its reflection, we glimpse not just Ah-jin's hell, but the infernos we navigate daily, emerging wiser, wearier, and wondrously alive to the stories within. With 12 episodes poised to unfold this epic, the series invites us not as passive watchers, but as co-conspirators in the unmasking, a journey whose echoes will reverberate far beyond the screen's glow. Delving deeper into the production's alchemy, the choice of locations, seedy underbelly sets for Ah-jin's origins, contrasting glossy penthouse facades for her present, mirrors the webtoon's panel contrasts, with cinematographer Kim Joo-jung's work, known from Vincenzo, capturing neon-drenched nights that bleed into sterile boardrooms, evoking a visual dichotomy that heightens thematic schisms, stirring aesthetic immersion that feels like wandering a dreamscape's darker alleys. Costume design, led by veteran Lee Ji-ho, adorns Ah-jin in evolving palettes, from muted grays of youth to crimson accents signaling her predatory phase, each thread a narrative cue, evoking delight in the subtle semiotics that reward attentive eyes. The series' global appeal, bolstered by HBO Max's reach, taps into the webtoon's diaspora fan base, with subtitles crafted by multilingual teams to preserve idiomatic punches, ensuring cultural nuances land universally. an inclusivity that evokes joy in K-content's borderless bloom. Promotional arcs, from teaser drops syncing with webtoon anniversaries to cast AMAs unpacking character psyches, build a multimedia ecosystem, stirring engagement that feels participatory, like co-authoring the hype. In quiet moments between takes, as shared in set anecdotes, Yoo-jung and Youngdae bonded over script deep dives, their discussions on love's darker shades informing ad-libs that inject spontaneity, evoking the magic of organic chemistry that elevates scripted souls to breathing entities. Do-hoon's method approach, immersing in martial arts to embody J.O.'s readiness, added authenticity to action beats, while Yolam's fresh perspective infused Reina with youthful audacity, an ensemble synergy that Bok likened to a well-rehearsed orchestra, harmonious yet primed for discord. As the curtain rises on November 6th, Dear X doesn't merely premiere, it infiltrates, a virus of intrigue that reprograms expectations, leaving us ensnared in its web, pondering our own exes long after the finale fades to black. A testament to storytelling's enduring power to provoke, to heal, to haunt.